appreciate you. If you new to this channel, guys, this channel is about growing food the natural way. We teach how to start from seed. We teach a lot of things in this on this channel. So if you're interested in this channel, you could definitely subscribe, hit the notification bell, make sure you hit all the notification bell so every time I'm going live or uploading a video, you can get the upload. We do a lot about gardening. We talk about different things, but our main focus is gardening. And as we know, garden seasoning is getting ready to rumble pretty soon. So we're trying to get the mind prepared. So we go live almost every night because we're trying to encourage people and get people going, prepare themselves for the garden season. So tonight we gonna be focusing on seed. We're gonna talk about seed and germinating seed. We're also gonna talk about cuttings. We're gonna talk a little about cutting as well. We're gonna talk about seed, the age of seed, and if the seeds them, how long could your seed last if you put them up? If you put them away, like you store in seed, how long can your seed last? So we're gonna be talking about all that tonight. But before we go any further, guys, please hit the like button. That's all we're asking for. It ain't gonna take away anything from you, all right? Just give us some support, some encouragement, and we truly will appreciate all the support we're getting from you guys. We shout out to everyone. Appreciate you all. So yes, tonight we're gonna talk about different topic, but not different topic really. We're gonna talk mostly about seed tonight and germinating seed and propagating cuttings because many people have different ways of doing things. Many people have different ways of sowing seed. Many people have different ways of actually putting in doing their cuttings. Many people have different ways. And I'm gonna show you a few ways that we can germinate seed, a few ways that we can do cuttings as well. So we're gonna be talking a lot about seeds tonight and germinating seed. This is what this whole video gonna be about. You know, sometimes people tell you that seeds cannot last for a certain seed only could last for a certain amount of time. Well, with from my experience is seed can last for a long time. It's just depending on how you put them away. It's also depending on the care you give them. The seed could last for a very long time. From my experience of saving seeds, I have some seeds, and I have some seeds 8 years old, 8 to 9 years old. And last year I sowed these seeds, and these seeds definitely germinate. These seeds was actually 8 to 9 years old, and they germinate. So at the end of the day, is the preparation, how you put them together, how you take care of them. You know, sometimes you can't just put them in an area and just leave them. Sometimes you got to go and see them, especially in the summertime. You want to give them some air, let some air blow through them and put them back up again in the summer. It's very important. But seed could last a long time. And many people are going to tell you that seed, oh, maybe 2, 3 years, 4 years. Maybe it could last more than 10 years. I'm just saying it's depending on the condition where you have them. That's what I'm saying. So, yes, tonight we're going to talk a lot about seed. I'm also going to show you, because now I love to sow seed in soil. That's my favorite way, because they germinate beautiful, healthy, and just start growing. Once they germinate, they start growing. All right? There's another way that I'm going to show you tonight that I'm using. Yes, the seed germinate very fast, but you still got to take them and put them in the soil and let they get, you understand, let they get used to the soil and start growing. But when they germinate in the soil, they just start growing. You know what I'm saying? It start pushing the root down in the earth, sorting for the nutrients, sorting for the nutrients. When we do them in this way, what happens is they push out their root, and depending on how long you leave them, they might start pushing out the part for the leaf. But I'm going to show you a few things tonight. This video going to be a very educational, informative video, because, you know, there's a lot of new gardeners out there, and I want you to know there's different ways to do things. You don't have to just follow one thing. And the good thing about it too is when you do it different ways, you're going to see the one that works best for you. All right? And when you find out the one that works best for you, that's the one you go with. But there's many ways how to, even cuttings. There's many ways. A lot of people, you see, this is the thing too. Many people do it in different ways. Many people use this thing called, I don't even want to call it in, but they go in the store and they buy them and they put them on under the cuttings. Like the cuttings, they put it on the cutting and they stay root fast. But I'm going to show you tonight different ways you could do this thing and it work really fast without putting anything on top of it. You see, because some plants, this is a cassava cutting, right? This is a cassava cutting. Now, some plants, maybe you want to propagate a fruit tree, right? So what you got to do, you got to peel off the skin. You got to peel off the skin of the stalk, and, you know, you put it whether in the soil, however you want to do it. But with cassava, you don't need to peel off the skin, because if on the skin is where the root comes out, the root comes out from. So with cassava, you just put it, you could put it in some water, you could put it in soil. But you see, the thing is, in order for seed to germinate, the temperature have to be correct. The temperature got to be right. If the temperature ain't right, they might take way longer to germinate. Sometimes they might not even germinate. And you might believe that the seed is not good. But sometimes it's not really the seed. Sometimes it's the temperature, the condition. A good way to, like for instance, you want to germinate seeds in soil. A good way to germinate that a lot of people do, they sow the seed and they might put it on the refrigerator. Because why they're going to put it on top of the refrigerator? Because their refrigerator have like a warmness, and it's important for that warmness to be there, because if you have them in and the soil is cold or the water is cold, it's going to be very difficult for them to germinate, to start pushing root, because the temperature has to be right. It cannot be too cold and it cannot be too hot. You see what I'm saying? So you have to create these ways of how to make it work. And what you do, you try different ways. You try different ways to see how it works for you. All right? So, cuttings. When we're dealing with cuttings, most plants, like I now mentioned, we got to peel off the skin. This is cassava. We don't need to peel off the skin. This is good just like how it is. But how could you propagate this cassava? You could propagate this in different ways. You could propagate this in put it in soil. You could propagate it, put it in water, and I'm gonna show you in a minute how it works in water. Beautiful. You also could put it in a tissue paper. Wet the tissue paper, wrap it around it, and put it in a Ziploc bag. And it works beautiful. I try all the way, and they all work. So sometimes it might be a little challenging for you. So you want to have option, different ways of how to do it. In case this one ain't work, you have another option of making it work. These are simple things, guys. Once you know, and once you're able to get to master them, it becomes so simple. So this is cassava. We also have seeds. This is fresh bell pepper seed, right? These are seeds that come from an 8 feet tall bell pepper tree. Yeah, these seeds, 8 feet tall bell pepper tree. Esther Bless, what's going on? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Good night. Yes. Yes. So this now is fresh bell pepper seed. Now, my favorite way of setting bell pepper seed is in the soil, right? The soil. I love to set them in soil. They work so wonderful. And then what I also do, and this helped me in gardening really well. This is how I get a lot of success in gardening. Now, if I go in and plant bell pepper in a certain area in my garden, so if I'm using the seed, the soil, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go out in the garden and I'm gonna take the soil from right where I'm going and plant them after they germinate in the spring. Take the soil from right there and put them and set the seed in that same soil. The reason why I do that is because the seed, when it germinates, remember that root that keeps searching for the nutrients and getting acquainted with the soil. That's the same soil. So what it's gonna do is gonna get itself adjust and loving this soil. It might be the soil that it loves. No, when you transplant it in the same type of soil that it germinates into and it's used to. And this does give you a real jump start. This does give you a real jump start. Use the soil that you're going and plant them into that same area. Use that soil and soak the seed into the soil. It worked beautiful. It worked beautiful for me. But tonight, I want to show you guys different ways. Not just soil, you could do it in different ways. All right? So we have bell pepper seed right here. As I mentioned, these bell pepper seeds come from a 7-foot bell pepper, 8 feet bell pepper tree. And this breed of bell pepper is one of the best breed of bell pepper I ever deal with. Because why I say that? These bell pepper, they never stop produce. They will start producing in June, right? They start pushing out pepper late May into June, and they will never stop producing pepper until November when that frost comes, they will never stop. And they also grow massive. Grow 8 feet tall, massive bell pepper trees with beautiful pepper. So this is a good breed. And this, I've been growing this pepper for over 10 years now. So this seed is good seed. You know, today I got to wonder about these seeds. Man, I wonder what type of seed it is these days. That's why I used to always mention save seed, because I know this time will come. I know this time was coming when you don't even know what type of seed you get in. A lot of people say, oh, what do they call it? Non-GMO. How do you know that? It's non-GMO. The only how you could know that is if you have these seeds years ago and you've been planting them years upon years upon, you know what I mean? Then you understand what type of seed it is. So these days you buying seed, you can't just believe what's on the package. It's not, you understand? People are gonna tell you, and then what people do again, they tell you non-GMO seed and organic. And we all know organic in food is more expensive than, you see what I'm coming from. I only could trust what I'm growing and believe it's organic and it's natural. And the seed them that I have. These are some bell pepper seed. I don't want to say too much because I already have some growing in the soil and I really don't want to do too much. But I want to do a little. I want to give you guys an idea. This way works very fast, but my favorite way is in the soil. Because when you put them in the soil, you ain't got to move them again until transplanting time. And a lot of people up peppers and these things. I don't up anything. What you got to do, you make sure you put them in the right size container. You put them in the right size that they could grow until transplant time. I don't believe in up-potting. I don't believe in up-potting at all. I think all that mess with the growth of the plant and slow down. You understand? Just after you germinate, just let them grow. And do the one transplant when you're taking them out for the spring. To me, that works great. But this is my opinion, and this is what works for me. All right? So I'm going to just sprinkle maybe about 10. Maybe about 10 seed right there. Right? I'm just doing this for the video for show you guys. But I already have my pepper seed there growing already. They don't germinate and growing at this time. So you put some inside here. So now I'm using paper towel. That's what I'm actually using. So all I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna sprinkle it with water. Sprinkle. Because without water, this is not gonna germinate. This is how important water is. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that like button. I'll truly appreciate it. All right. So we sprinkle in the water. We wrap it over like that, and we sprinkle it again. We don't want it to be too wet. We just want it to be damp. Because water is so great. And you know, sometimes I'm not sure if people understand the power of water. All right? Now, in this case, if we don't put no water on this, they will not germinate. They will not germinate at all if you ain't put no water on this. They will not germinate, they will just be there. But because of the water, they germinate. So now I'm gonna wrap this like this. Okay? And I'm gonna wet it again. No, I'm not gonna be wetting this again. This is the last time. I'm not gonna wet this again. So all I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put this in a Ziploc bag and just leave it. In this form, they're gonna germinate pretty fast because this is it here. If you notice, you could see the seeds them up inside there. This is actually it right here. Now what we do, we take them out, we put them in a Ziploc bag. I'm gonna leave them right here for now. So what we do now, we take them out, we put them in a Ziploc bag. And we leave the Ziploc bag, like put it in a warm place, like room temperature. You could put them in a warm place, in a dark area, and just leave them right there. And they're gonna just eventually germinate. When they germinate and you realize they start pushing out that root, I wouldn't trouble them till maybe about 7 days, right? So within 7 days, once the seed is good, you're gonna start see them pushing out that white root. That white root. So now when you see that, what you do now, you take them and you start putting them in the soil, like you create a hole and you put the root down in the hole and you just cover it with sand, with the dirt, and just leave them, and that's gonna just take them where they wanna go. No, you ain't gotta do up pat them. This is what I don't do. I don't believe in up patting for some reason. But I'm not knocking anyone with ideas. You do what works for you. But for what I'm saying, I don't think I need to up pat any plant. Unless it's a fruit tree or something and I want to put it in a bigger pot. Now we have the cuttings. So this is a cassava cuttings. We also, I'm going to show you in a minute, another way how I propagate cassava. Right? Now, like I said, you could put them in the soil in a nice warm room. You could put them in the soil in a nice warm room. You also put the same process here. You take it, you put it inside here, and you wrap it. Right? While you're wrapping, you just wet it. Or you just wrap it. You wrap it, you wrap it, you wrap it. Yeah, I think that's what it is. You wrap it up real nice, and what you do, you wet it. The reason why you want to have it in a Ziploc bag is because the Ziploc bag gonna keep it moisture. Okay, because you don't want it to dry out. You want the moisture because the water is what creates life. That's what you understand. The water is what makes everything works. Without water, nothing works, as we can see. So if the water dry out, then it's not gonna work. It have to remain moist until you start seeing the roots. So when you see in the roots, you say, all right, it's time for me to put you in some soil. And like I said, if you doing it indoors and the spring is not here, so you see this, you take this and you put this in a Ziploc bag. I'm gonna show you in a minute. You put it in a Ziploc bag. Give me 1 second. Right. So I'm gonna show you in a minute how we do it. It have to be moist. The Ziploc bag is what gonna keep it moist because you don't want air go in as well. Because if the air go in, it's gonna dry it out, and you don't want that, so you leave it. Now I'm gonna show you again another way. So with cassava, thank you. All right. So okay, we have the Ziploc bag. We have the Ziploc bag. So what we do, we take them and we put them down in the Ziploc bag. Okay. There's a paper there that you could even write the date that you put them there. It's good to write the date because when you write the date, you have an understanding of how long you had them in the container, in the Ziploc bag. Okay, so this is the pepper seed. This is the bell pepper seed. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put them in a warm, dark area and just leave them there. 7 days. By 7 days, you're supposed to definitely see they start germinate within 7 days. And after that, what I do, I take some soil and I put them in the soil. Now, with cassava again, I know not many people grow cassava. I know not many people familiar with cassava, because sometimes when you talk about cassava, you know, people might ask, what is cassava? But there's many people who really live eating cassava. They eat the leaf and the root. The root produce a crop. No, cassava cannot go from, you know what, I can't say that because this year I see cassava with flowers. As far as I'm understanding, they don't put seed, but I saw mine this year with flowers on top of it. Okay, so I'm not gonna say that, but for what I know, I never saw anybody plant cassava from seed. Never saw it. I always see they plant it from cuttings. Most likely, if you're in the island, if you're growing it from the island, all what you're doing here, you really don't need to do that. In the spring, you just tuck them in the earth and they just start growing. But when you're in cold climate, you have to do this because they take almost a year. They take almost a year. So you want to start them indoors that you can have enough time for a harvest. Now, let me show you now. Let me show you a next one with the cassava. And this is not just cassava alone. This is not cassava alone operate in this form. Fruit trees also operate in this form. Flowers also operate in this form. Now, with the cassava, like I mentioned, you don't need to cut it to peel off the stick. But with the fruit tree, you need to peel off the stick. There's flowers. If you want to grow flowers tree or whatever, you need to peel off the stick. All right? But they all can walk in this form. Now, this is a cassava, and I put it in this vase. This is a cassava. Look how the plant is, look how the plant healthy. Hey, God Desire, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Look how the plant healthy. And it's indoors. It's not under grow light. It's basically by a window. But look how healthy it's growing. And it also pushing a very strong root. Let me show you guys. You see? It pushing a beautiful strong root. And like I now mentioned, you could do this also with fruit trees. The only difference is with the cassava, you don't need to peel off the outer skin. But the fruit trees, you have to do that. All right? But they all walk in water. A vase with water, they all walks. So it's many different ways. You could put them in soil. Some people buy thing and put it on top the body and put it, to make it root. I never had us to do that. But people do that. You could just put them in water. And I do believe, you see how it look healthy? And the root is really strong. You see how the root is strong? This is a really good way to do cuttings. It's a really good way to do cuttings. Cut water is like magic. You see, when come on gardening and plants, water is like magic. Water creates the magic with the growth. So once water intercedes, anything is possible. So if you have cuttings like fruit trees, you get cuttings from a fruit tree, fig, apple, peach, you could do just like this. But the only difference is you got to peel off the skin. You peel off the skin and you tuck it down in the water and you change the water from time to time. And that works. So it's not just soil only. There's many ways to do this thing. And the truth is, it's important to learn all of them. It's important to learn all of them. Once you learn all of them, trust me, is a good thing for you. Because now, if you don't have soil, if you're in a place, right, and you don't have no soil, but you have water, you have something to put the water into. Guess what? Right there, you could start your cutting. Also, onion. You could do this with onion as well. You could do this with on same method. Same method, damp it. And even with onion, you don't even have to damp it. Even with onion. You know what? I have a video, right? I have a video where I put an onion, a half an onion in a black pot, right? And the onion push up about 4 sprouts. And I cut the onion in pieces. and I plant them in separate holes. And I end up with 10 onions from one onion. So it's a lot of ways how to basically increase your crop. From one onion, I get 10 onion. How did I do that? Cut the onion, put the bottom in a black sacks, and leave it for a few days. By the time I go back, I see the pushing up like 4 different sprouts. And I cut them in pieces and plant them separate. And the onion pushed, one onion had like 4. One from one piece that I cut. So it's so much ways, and you know what I'm saying? If you're able, I mean, like I say, guys, everything not gonna come overnight. You know, don't care what you do, don't care how you do it. You're not gonna learn everything overnight. But I'm telling you, it's really good to learn as much as you can and learn different ways. Like me, I could germinate seed in soil. I can germinate seed in paper towel. I can do cuttings in soil. I can do cuttings in paper towel. I can do cuttings in water. And all these things is what I see for myself, experience, not just, I'm not just here speaking. I'm actually here telling you and also showing you. I can't show you the fruit tree right now, but I can show you the cassava that, and you know what? Let me tell you something too with the cassava. Let me tell you what I learned with the cassava. Let me show you what I learned. Hey Nino, hello, how you doing? Happy New Year. What's going on? Good to see you guys. All right. What I've learned in this process, right? Sometimes what we do, we will put the stalk to the bottom, right? We will just put the stalk down to the bottom of the container or the vase, whatever. We're going to put it and make sure it hit the bottom, right? In this case, and this works so fast. In this case, what I did, if you notice, you see here, it can't go down no more because of the white. So it's the stalk is only around here. It didn't touch the bottom, right? And because it didn't touch the bottom, in days it started to push through. So what I've learned in this process, it worked better and faster if the stalk is just floating in the water. Instead of resting to the bottom, if it's floating in the water, from my experience, it works way faster and the roots grow way faster. Because I'm telling you, it may be now going, it now past a week now. Maybe it's heading for 2 weeks now since I put this in this vase. Look how long these roots are. Almost 5 inches, some of them. In less than 2 weeks. Indoors, it's not like it's outdoor in the summer. Indoors, without a light, they just buy a window, so they get the light in the day, and that's it. And if you look to the top there, you're gonna see a bunch of root is coming out. You see what going on there? All that is root. And now, guess what? With the cassava, right? These are the food from the cassava. Guys, I'm giving you guys real information here tonight. You see these? These are what gonna turn into cassava. These here. They're gonna turn into cassava. You see what I'm coming from? So we're gonna have now the cassava is actually food. You can use a cassava and make, farina. I'm sure a lot of you know about farina, the porridge. Cassava it come from. You could steam it, you could grind it, bake it. It's so much thing you could do with this plant. Yes, it's so much thing you could do with this plant, but a lot of people don't know about it. And the leaf as well, they eat the leaf. Like in Africa, I never eat the leaf. I never eat the leaf. But in Africa and the Caribbean, they eat the leaf. Okay? So this is cassava, and the easiest way I see to propagate cassava, don't a vase, and don't allow it to go to the bottom. Just allow it to float in the water. Don't hit the bottom. root just start pushing out like crazy. So this is what I do, guys. And this is why I can come and say so much. I can come and I can sit down and I could have conversation. I can have conversation for hours because the truth is I do my own research, and my own research is not online, is actually dealing with the plant stem. So when you're dealing with the plant stem, you learn so much because you try different things and you see which one works best. You try different things, you observe, you have to pay attention. And when you observe and you sometimes you get astonished the way how these things operate. So don't stuck yourself in one zone and in one area. Okay, so let's say I love good experiment. Yes, I love it too. You know, I try different things. I don't like to don't stuck yourself in one zone of this is how I set seed and this is what I'm gonna no. Try different options in case you're in a position that you don't have what you need and you gotta use what you have. You see where I'm coming from? So this walk beautiful. This is the fastest way for me. This is the fastest way for me to propagate cassava. This is another way. Hey Kim, Ami, how you doing? First time live viewers, thank you for. Okay, all right. Happy to see you. I always see you comment, but happy to see you. At least you find me live tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank everyone for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys. Yes, so okay. This way, this is cassava as well. This way walk faster than if you put it in soil as well. So we have the one with the vase that walk really, really fast. This is my experience, guys. We have the one in the napkin into the Ziploc bag that walks also. We also have in the soil. The one in the soil walks as well. But you got to make sure. If, like for instance, if you have them in your garage, right? Your garage might be cold, on the ground might be cold. So you wouldn't want to put it on the cold ground to get, you wouldn't want to do that. You might want to put a carpet or something on the ground to keep that coldness from going up in the soil and in the container, because that could cause the plant not to propagate. That also could cause plants not to germinate the seeds. So it's important when you do it, seed in the winter, especially people who dealing with winter. In the tropical areas, it's different. When you're dealing with winter, you have to, wherever you put in these seeds, it has to be a certain temperature or there's not germinating. This is why a lot of people use the grow light. The grow light create a different, like the heat, give them that little heat that they could able to germinate. You got to do what you got to do. If you got to use grow light, you got to do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, you need your plants to germinate and get ready for the spring. Because when the spring comes, this is planting time. You ain't want to be trying to set pepper seed in the spring. You don't want to do that. If you do that, you mightn't get no harvest. So you want to make sure you do what you got to do indoors. No, we have some basil here. But honestly, I'm not even gonna do the basil because with the basil, oh, these basil, this basil is a really nice basil to go. Oh, the scent is so strong. When you grow with these basil, when you walk in your garden, all you're smelling is this sweet scent. I can't remember the name, but I always try to save my seed, guys. I don't play with that. I take that very, very serious. So these now, if you notice here, these are basil seed. In these parts, we have the basil seeds up inside it. This smell amazing, smells so sweet. So this is the basil, but I'm not gonna set them because you could set these in the spring and you still have a beautiful harvest. So I'm not too early. I'm not gonna stress myself out with these right now when I could set them in April and still able to get beautiful harvest from them. And one thing we need to know about basil don't really too like that heated weather. They do better in between springtime and summertime. They do way better in that time. When the heat comes, they kind of slow down, which a lot of herbs operate in that form. From the time the heat comes, the production slow down. Okay, we have some Tabasco pepper here. I have some growing already, but I'm gonna try to grow some, germinate some. I have them in the pot. I just dry them. I didn't open them. I just dry them in the sun in the summer. Sometimes what I do as well, sometimes I just put it in the soil just like this. I just put it in the soil and it's gonna just find its way out, germinate, and just start pushing itself up. I just do that sometimes. So with this now, with this now you open it and you drop out the seeds in. This is a hot pepper. This is a lot of seeds. I don't even know why I'm doing so much. Because every year I grow so much hot pepper and then I have to leave so much on the trees because I don't know what to do. I give away and I also make pepper sauce and so much pepper. So you see, I put the Tabasco pepper here. So what I'm gonna do, this is already damp, which I'm gonna add a little more water just to get them going. No, when these germinate, I'm just shaking them in the container. I'm not even separating them. I'm just shaking them in the soil and cover them. Not even separating them. And just give them a lot of soil and they're gonna grow. The thing is, you just want to get them going because when the springtime hit, you're ready to plant. So this is one way to germinate pepper seed. You could also do it in the soil. I'm just showing you guys different ways and they all works. They all works. You just want it damp enough. Then you take them and you put them in a Ziploc bag. You know what? I'm going to put them in this Ziploc bag with this one. You take them and you put them in the Ziploc bag and leave them for maybe like a week. So that's 2 different pepper in this bag right here. And I'm gonna do a live showing you guys that they all germinate. After they germinate, I'm gonna do a live showing you guys that they all germinate. In here, this one is pigeon peas. Well, I purchased these. We have pigeon peas in this one that I have. I mean, I have maybe about 20 something pigeon peas. Seed germinate right at this time. I also have some sorrel as well that someone sent for me. So I have sorrel seed, but I already germinating enough of them, so I'm not even trying to do anymore. But it's the same method I did, and it worked really fast. Usually, these things, especially the sorrel, that take forever to germinate. When you use it with this method, the paper towel, it germinates in days. And you know what, you guys? Sometimes it goes on the condition of the seed or the freshness of the seed. You see, sometimes, let me explain this to you guys. If you sow in seed, right? And you see the condition is good, the weather is good, the temperature where you have them is good, and you see 2 weeks pass and you ain't see no germination, you need to start setting seed again or maybe get a different pot. Because sometimes these seed don't go. Sometimes the seed is not good. Sometimes the seed is not good. Not because you buy the seed mean the seed is good. Sometimes the seed might be good and you waiting and waiting and waiting for them to germinate, and then you realize, wait, hold up. It's been 2 weeks and these seeds still in germinate. So what I say, after 7 days, you will see no germination. Start setting more seed or see if you can find a different path. Because you don't, especially for the people who dealing with the colder weather, the colder temperature, you don't want to have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So these are things, very important skill things I'm giving you guys here tonight. Because a lot of people waiting on the seed to germinate. Then they realize they wait 2 weeks and the seed still in germinate. And like I now show you, you can sow seed in the soil, and you could also sow seed with a paper towel. So try the 2 options. Don't sit back and only try one option. Try both options. If both of them work, fine. But at least if you try the paper towel and you try the soil and you realize the paper towel is germinating, then you know the seed then it's good. So you don't want to just put them in the soil and just leave them there and waiting, or just put them in the paper towel and just there and waiting. Use the options them, and that's why I'm giving you these options tonight. Use the options because your growing season is not that long and you don't have time to be waiting on seedling. You see, a lot of people prefer buying the seedling, and I mean, could you blame them when you really check it? Number one, the care. This thing ain't easy to take care of. And most of the time, you got to you got to be trying to take care of them for months. You got to make sure you water them. You have to make sure you ain't water them too much. You got to watch their growth. It's just so much, but I enjoy doing it. It's just fun for me seeing seed germinate, because when I see seed germinate, I see food. I say yes, food is coming. Once the seed is good, I see food. You see where I'm coming from? So I love, and I don't like to wait for last minute, guys. I don't like last minute gardening. I just start gardening from November. After the last frost, I start to fix my soil. I start to do what have to do, get everything in place, get the soil prepared and ready for the spring. Then by December, January, I'm working on seeds. So if I set pepper seed now, if I set my pepper seed now, by March, them pepper already strong. Them is strong pepper at that time. So when the spring come now and you taking them out, you carry them outside to get hardened off a little. You take them outside to get hardened off before you actually put them in the sun. Once you follow these rules, guys, you could have a beauty, you could be a very successful gardener. There's just things you have to follow. There's just things you got to follow. And if you follow these things, you could really have a successful garden in your backyard or a container garden, wherever. They're just things you have to do. Taking care of your plant, you just have to. Don't let no one tell you about just throwing seed and leave them. You're not going to get much from that. You have to take, especially when they baby. You see, when they get big, you could leave them. But you see, the baby stage, just like kids, when they baby, you got to take care of them. You can't leave them on their own. But when they get mature now, then you could say, all right, okay. You could go down the road, you could go to the store by yourself. It's the same with the plant. You have to know. I personally, with my baby plants, my small plant, after planting after I go out and I plant, every 3 days, after planting every 3 days, I go out with my machete and I soften the root. I'm soften the soil around their root. Every 3 days. You go out, you make sure there's no leaf fall on them, because sometimes leaf could fall on your plants and cover it up and it just dry out right there. So I make sure I go down in the garden, make sure there's no leaf. Every 3 days, I'm softening the soil. Every 3 days, I soften the soil. So when you do that now, remember these little baby root is pushing. So when you soften the soil for these baby plants, these baby roots, they're just pushing and they're just growing. You just see the plant just growing because nothing black in the root. But if the soil is hard and these little white baby roots cannot push through the soil, then you back in the growth of the plant. You slowing down the growth of the plant. Because now the root now got to find somewhere else to go. If it can't spread, then it got to figure out, okay, I might got to come back into the plant. You see what I'm saying? But once it just spreading freely, how you think I just grow bell pepper. I grow pepper tree 8 feet, 10 feet tall. How you think I get that? How you think I'm able to do that within 5, 6 months? Hey, John Shoot, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes. How do you think I could get a pepper tree from within 5 months to 8 feet tall? You gotta be out there softening the soil when they baby. So when the root get harder now and the plant gets stronger, it's easier for them to push. But when they baby, when they baby, you have to start with the soil that the root could spread through. That's how these plants grow fast. That's how these plants grow fast. Soft soil make the root push easier and faster. And when the root push easier and faster, what happening? The plant growing. It even produce more. We're going to talk about moon planting in a minute as well. Let me see. This person says, I'm building a feeder IMO box for filling with rice and collecting wild cultures from my area. Okay, all right. Yes. All right. So let me give you the key. Let me give you some key information to gardening and to success in a garden. This is real information. This is no Google information. This is information that I experience from my own experience over the years and see how it works. Okay, we set in seed. Let's start from setting seed. We sow in our seed. What we do, we go outside. And if we sow in cabbage seed, we sow in pepper seed, we sow in okra seed, we sow in whatever seed we grow in, we already know where we're going and plant all of these things. We know where we plant in our pepper, we know where we plant in our okra, we know where we plant in our cabbage, we know all the areas. What we do, we go outside with our container and we get soil from right where we're going to plant the cabbage. That's where we're going for the soil. We take some up, put it in the container, and that's where we're going to set our cabbage. In the same soil they will be growing into. The same soil that they're going to be growing into when you transplant them, that's the same soil you set the seed into. What you actually doing, you actually programming the seed, the plant, the seedling to the soil. So it's going to be getting accustomed to the soil. Number one, never put seedlings, your seed, in a poor soil after you transplant them. So for instance, this is what I'm saying. Go and get the soil from exactly where you know you're going to plant them and set your seed in there. No, you germinate some seed in a rich, nice soil. Remember, when the seed germinate, what it do? It push down this root. It start pushing down the root. Before the leaf comes up, it push down the root, the feeder. That is like a signal. This is actually searching for nutrient. All right, yes, that's it. B. Hendricks, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, you got the point. You got the point. Yes, yes, You got the point. Now, let me put it up on the screen. You got the point that what I'm talking about. Familiarize your seed to the soil where it will grow. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you as a gardener and you follow these rules, trust me, you're going to see a whole big difference. Now, again, if you use a rich soil to germinate your seeds, make sure the soil you put it into is richer than the soil it germinates into. Because if you take it from a rich soil where it enjoy and getting the nutrients that it loves, it doing well, and put it in a poor soil, you actually reversing the growth of that plant. You actually putting the plant in a setback. Because now, where it was getting the nutrients it won. Now where you put it is not getting the nutrient. So you set it back. But if you germinate it in a poor soil, right? Say for instance, you germinate in a poor soil, and then you move it to a richer soil. That's better. Because at the same time, it needs nutrients. So if where you were, where they germinate, they wasn't getting nutrients, and you move them to a place where they're getting nutrients, then that's what they love. They're gonna do well. But if you move them from a place full of nutrients and move them into a place that poor, you back in the growth of the plant. You reversing the growth. Now the plant stands still. You got to figure out now and adjust itself to this type of soil you put them into. Because now it can't get the nutrients it wants. So you got to adjust to that type of soil. So what I'm saying is, if you go out there, right where you go in and plant your peppers, and you scrape up your soil, and sow your seed inside there, that's it, man. Because that's what they're born into, that type of soil. So when you move them, it's the same type of soil they're going to be growing into. You see where I'm coming from? So you get a faster takeoff than if you put the plant in and it got to adjust itself. That's slowing the growth. So if you put them in the same soil, you get a faster takeoff. When you look, you see plants them just growing, then a shower rain come and they just take off. I'm gonna give you another one again. Let me see where I'm Kim Melly saying here. Okay. So the growth will become stunted. Definitely. Definitely. This is why you always see a lot of people saying, oh, my plant's stunted and I don't know what to do. They're not growing. Because this is where we got to understand. Plants is like a blueprint when you're dealing with plants. You see where I'm coming from? It's just when you're dealing with nature run by laws. Nature have their own laws. And if we only could know them and follow them, things gonna be beautiful. So yes, Kim Amelie, it's stunted. You said it right. It stunted the growth. And then you realize your plant just did it stunted, not going nowhere. And you want to know, I'm giving it water. I'm giving it water, but it's not growing. You already mess with the growth of the plant. So when you follow these simple rules, these simple ways, you see things different. Because, like Hendrix said, you familiarize the seed with the soil, the plant with the soil, that's the one it's gonna go into. Because once it germinates in that, that's what it used to. That's what it loves. It germinates in that. So it's there for how long? Dwelling in that type of soil. So when you move it into the same soil, it's a takeoff. Once you ain't damage the root, it's a takeoff. And the next thing again, too, guys, damaging roots. Don't ever damage your root. That's another stunted situation there. Transplanting, try not to damage the root. That's another part that helps back your growth. What I'm saying is, you got to remember, especially for the people who got to deal with cold weather, you don't have enough time for your plant to stunt it. You don't have enough time to back the growth of your plant. So you got to try to make sure that the process works smoothly, that everything could work perfectly. And once you could get that, it course, you surprised how your plants them grow and how they produce. Not just how they grow, how they produce as well. You know, I don't know. I see people that have pepper tree, and you know, this small. I don't see this type of thing, man. My pepper tree and them just grow taller than me. I got 10-foot pepper tree this year. I think is that what the name of it again is habanero. So one of these pepper, I don't want to say call the wrong name. 10 feet tall. Last year I grew an 8 feet bell pepper tree. So I know what I'm telling you. From my experience, what I see, the process and how it works and what, and me, I love to do my own experiment. So it's a lot of ways you could really have a successful garden. I'm telling you, I have a dry field. I will be making clay, need ball of spread. Okay, all right, okay. This is a good way to seed a field. Avoid. Okay, all right. Okay, let me see. We want only the strongest plant genetic that naturally strive where we put them. That's it. And you see, these are the things, guys. You know, sometimes you grow in a garden and you just feel like you just need to add so much to your soil. You just feel like you got to add this. You got to add that. I'm telling you the truth, you really don't. The best garden you could really try to create is a natural garden. When I say a natural garden, using natural resources like the leaf, the grass, and keep mixing them in your soil. That will always build your soil, always. Yeah, balance out your soil. Nature could balance out your soil. When you hear people talk about the pH, nature does these things. Nature balance our soil for us. Look at me see. We garden in zone 5, Toronto, Canada. Okay, this is Nino Anlo. In Canada, Toronto, Canada, and we have such a short growing season. So we have to start inside only from seed by start from the nursery. I understand that Nino Anlo. When your growing season is short, you really don't have time for mistake. And what I say to you is, if you want to start seed, start now. You see, don't wait till February and March. The the growing season you have, if you got to say start seed from February, March, you ain't really gonna have much harvest. Or as you say, you got to buy starts. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, you got to eat. And at least you're growing them for yourself. But I understand when you have these short growing season is not easy. It's not easy. So this is why I'm saying for the people in these zone, short growing zone, start to see them early. If you want to start your own seed, start them early. Yes, it might be a little challenging to keep them for the couple of months, but start them early. So by the time planting day, they're strong. They mightn't be big, but they have some strength. So, like I now mentioned to you, Nino and Lo, when you're doing seed, try to start use the seed, the soil that you're gonna grow them into. Try that. And I'm also gonna give you a tip in a minute. That's gonna make your plant grow fast and produce in abundance as well. Yes, use the same soil that your plants could get accustomed to. So when you put them in that soil, they start to grow. All right. Let me see where I saw you on a lot of harvested pepper. Some exactly. Yes. On that pepper tree, that's a 10-foot pepper tree. 10-foot pepper tree. Yes, 10-foot pepper tree. For real, yeah. Yes, yes. I ain't gonna lie, I enjoy standing on a ladder and gotta stretch up your hands still to harvest pepper. On that day, I think I harvest about 32 pepper from the tree. And it had a lot more. But that's what I harvest that day. From that one pepper tree, 32 peppers. From that pepper tree, I maybe harvest over 100 pepper from that pepper tree last year. One pepper tree, 8 feet tall. I harvest over 100 pepper tree from that plant. And that's no joke. Okay. I've seen my tomato plant grow from seed, shoot past bigger plant transplanted. And that's something we now talk about there too. You sow it from seed, direct sow. That's what you're talking about. Let me know if it's that you're talking about. Okay. Nino and Lo, hope you're still here. One of the best planting day. One of the best planting day. One of the best time to put compost around your plant. And one of your best time to harvest is on a new moon. One of the best time to plant, one of the best time to add compost, like go around and softening the soil, add some compost around your plant, new moon. Please try that for me and let me know in this garden season how that worked for you. New moon. Notice this, guys. Right? Notice this. Notice this. Notice every time you see a new moon. Every time there's a new moon, rain appear to come. Exactly. Exactly. Oh man. Oh man, I'm glad to have you here. You guys really hitting it. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, okay, Hendrik said that's right. Right. The same thing we're talking about. The same soil. It germinates in the same soil, grow in the same soil. It's gonna shoot past everything else. Yes. That is true. Same thing we know was talking about, and the same thing Hendrik said, right? Yes. Now, exactly, Kim Ami. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. New moon because you said rain. Rain follows shortly. Exactly. That's exactly. And for instance, and I don't want you all to take my word for it. Observe for yourself. Don't take my word. Observe for yourself and see if around new moon some type of rain coming down. So when you transplant on a new moon, that rain, when it come the day before or the day after, if it come the day before, beautiful. It come on the same day, still beautiful. It come on the day after, beautiful. Because guess what? The earth is wet. You see where I'm coming from? The earth is wet. And when the earth wet, what happened? When the earth wet, you know what happened? The nutrients in the soil become liquid. You see what I'm saying? And that's how the plant feed. Remember, the plant don't eat dirt. Remember, the plant don't eat dirt. The plant deal with the nutrients, the mineral, and how it absorbs that through the form of liquid. So when the rain comes and you plant, the baby plant just sucking nutrients. I don't want you all to take my word for it. I want you all to try it for your own self and see how it works. Teacher, the student wants it. I can see. I can see. I can definitely see. Yes, on a new moon, best time. And why I tell you add compost on a new moon? Because that's the time rain come. And remember, when you add compost and the rain come and the juice, the liquid, it turn into liquid. That's how and soak through to the root. That's how it's sucking. That's how it's feeding. That's how it's feeding. It don't eat the dirt. It don't eat the compost. It eat when the water. This is how important water is. Water is so important in this process because we know if we add compost around the plant cannot eat the compost. But when the rain comes or you wet it, and this is the next thing I just be telling people when we talk about container garden. Container garden, you have is a technique in watering container garden. It's a technique. When I say technique, what I'm saying, yes, you could send me an email, definitely. Yes, you can. Yeah. So container gardening, let me tell you something about container gardening. And a lot of people, this is from, guys, I'm speaking from my experience. Right? This is my experience. Container garden. No. If you, just like how I know mention, when the rain come, right? When the rain come, what happened? It create a liquid. So when the water soak through, this is how the minerals, the nutrients, all these things, this is how the plant able to feed, right? Because it cannot eat the dirt. It cannot eat the compost. It have to turn liquid in order for it to feed. Container now. When you water in container, you can't just hold a hose down in your container and just pour in water. You know what? You know what you actually doing? What happened when the water, when after you don't pour the water? Yes, it soaked the earth, but then guess what? The rest water running out. So when the water running out, you know what happening? Nutrients, mineral, all these things is running out too. So you don't want to wet it too much. That water just pouring out the container. What you want to do is soak the soil. Yes, a little bit might run out, yes. But you want to soak the soil, not over wet it that a bunch of water running out underneath. That's why under your container always have so many worms. Hot worms, you know why? Because the nutrients they're running out. They don't even need to get up in your container. It's running out right there. Remember worm feeds too. So if you just sprinkle it in that the water that they could damp, you know what I'm saying? Damp enough that you could get the liquid that the root could feed. That's what you want. But when you have a hose and you, what happens is a lot of the nutrients running out. And by you keep doing that every day, what you think gonna happen? You run out all the nutrients out the container. Now the plant they're struggling, and you want to know, but I water the plant. I did this, I did that. Yes, you already wash out the food for the plant outside of the container. So I'm hope what I'm saying makes sense. I'm hope what I'm saying makes sense. Because I'm trying to break it down in the simplest form. I don't try to make things too complicated. You know, sometimes people make things so complicated you don't even understand what they're saying because they're trying to make it like they so know what they're talking about. No, I try to keep it simple that the baby could understand. You don't hold a hose in your container, just pour in water. You get something and you sprinkle, make sure. Why you think this say? Why you think you always hear this say? It's better when the rain, dew on the plants, in your garden, on your plants, than you just pour on heavy, heavy, heavy. You always did, if you guys hear the press one, if you ever hear, it's better when the rain dew on your plants, on your soil, than when it poured on heavy, 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 heavy. If you guys ever hear that, please press one. Because I'm sure somebody heard that before. It's better when it's dew. It's better when it's dew than when it falls too heavy. And I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain the reason why in a few minutes. No one never heard that before? No one never heard that before. Okay. I'm gonna say why now. And the reason why, you see, the reason why I say this is because it basically give an idea of container garden and how you got to know how to wet container garden because you could end up wash away the nutrients away from the soil. Same thing with the rain. If the rain is pouring down real heavy, bop, 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 you know what's happening? All right, okay, all right. Let me see. I love less water added, enough to activate the soil nutrient. Definitely, definitely. No, when the rain fall heavy, what happening? It just drop in and wash away everything. So when it drop, it just washing away, flooding your garden, pushing everything, washing away your compost, washing away your nutrients out your garden. Cause it just beating down and just running, and it just washing away. You might not put compost around your plant today, and then the rain comes so heavy and wash away all your compost. But if it drew, like Hendrik said, if it drew, if it just drew and just, it just drawing, jumping and drawing, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Like he said, activate the nutrient. So that's how the plant could get feed. But if it just pouring down, it all that running away. The water not even soaking. When it drew, the water soak. You see what I was talking about? When it drew, it soaked through the earth. When it dropped heavy, it dropped and run off. So it's the same thing in your container. When you pour it down in your container, the nutrient wash out. When you throw less water and you just sprinkle it to soak the soil, same thing I was now saying. So yes, guys, I'm glad what I'm saying making sense, because everything I say here, I experience it for myself. I've been doing this for a pretty long time, and I always pay attention to the process and what I'm doing. Because in my thing, I want to see progress. I want to get better. I want to learn. So what I do my own experiment. I observe. I watch. I learn. Even though I keep saying, I don't know everything. I'm still learning. But I do know a lot over the years. Because every day you step into the garden, every day you step into the garden, there's something to learn. Every day there's something to learn. So yes, for 2025, I'm expecting to see a lot of people garden looking healthy. With these tonight, this information I give you guys tonight, if you guys follow what I tell you tonight, I guarantee you, you will be telling me later down in the year how successful your garden season was. Oh, yes, let me see. The one thing about gardening is I will take 100 to master. You with gardening, you cannot finish learn about gardening. There's always there's so many plants. There's so many plants to learn about. And the thing is, you have to know what these plants like. And if you're able to give them what they like, that's where they produce. If you could really give a plant what if you could transplant a seedling without damaging the root, without blocking, make sure you prepare it to get a growth without any stop, with any blockage. I guarantee you might be surprised how much this plant give you and how big it could get. Is weeders limit them or not? Is weeders limit the plants them? I'm telling you. We limit the plants them from go to their potential. Where look, check today. I grow a garden, right? And I don't use nothing from the store. I'm not telling you guys not to use. I'm just saying. I don't use nothing from the store. Where around this time, in this age, you hear somebody grow a 10-foot tall pepper tree. I mean, think about it. 10 feet tall. You know what is 10 feet tall? That's taller than the ceiling in your home. You see where I'm coming from? That's taller than your ceiling in your home. 10 feet tall. Where you hear that these days? You don't hear that these days. So it still gives you an understanding how building your soil naturally, the things you could see. I'm telling you, my pepper them does listen me. Sometimes every 2-3 days, I'm coming out with a container of pepper, bell pepper. Every 2-3 days, loaded with bell pepper. My trees them produce. Everything I grow produce. Pumpkin, produce. Okra, everything. Because I'm following these same rules. And my garden, you see, the good thing is, I could sit here and talk, but I have all my videos to back what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Okay, Lino, thanks for the great information. All right, you have a good night, Nino and Lo, and I hope you guys have a successful garden season. All right? I'm actually giving you guys the blueprint. You see, I'm so thinking that I'm actually giving you guys my blueprint of how I garden. And I don't just sit down and talk about it. I show in videos. I show the growth. I show how I plant. I show how I take care of them. I show harvest time, how much I'm harvesting. So it's not about me here just sitting and just babbling. I have over 2,000 videos to explain that I can go to and show you what I'm talking about. You see, I know I was talking about a 10-foot bell pepper tree, 10-foot pepper tree, and one of my audience could have tell you they saw me on a ladder picking peppers. You see, so what I'm saying, I have videos to back what I'm saying. So, but all these guys come from experience, experiment, observation, discipline, patience. That's where all this come from. Because don't think that people don't try to tell me Oh, you could use this. Why you don't use this? People try to do that. But if you ain't strong and you in focus, you're gonna be easy to get persuaded. You're gonna be easy to get distracted. Next thing you realize, you start using a bunch of things that you never even thought of. So if your garden is working for you and it's working successfully for you, don't let nobody introduce you to no product out there, man. When you using what you have and your garden doing way better than theirs, but they're still telling you about a product. You see where I'm coming from? So you gotta be strong and focused. In order, you understand? Focus. Because people will tell you all kind of stuff, man. I'm telling you. I hear all kind of stuff. Why you don't use this? Why you don't use this to spray plant? Yeah, man, you could use this wall. And the crazy thing about it is, they're telling you it work, but they're not use it. You can't see it. They don't have a video showing you it work, but they're telling you. So you got to be careful with that too. You got to be careful with that, and you got to be careful with these type of stuff. Pay attention. You could garden without using a bunch of stuff that a lot of people using. You don't have to use them because at the end of the day, I believe as a gardener, I want healthy food. If I'm growing my food, I should be getting healthy food that I can get vitamins from, that I can get nutrition from, that I can get this that could help boost my immune system. If I'm growing food, why am I going to go and buy something in a bottle to help boost my immune system? And I'm actually growing the food. Remember, our plants feed through the soil. And everything you put in that soil, that's what your plant feeding from. Remember that. Our plants feed from the soil. And everything you put around that plant, that's what the plant feeding with. And if the plant feeding with that, what you think you eating? You eating the same thing. So just pay attention. Listen to me, guys. I'm not here to tell you how to grow your food. That's not what I'm doing. I'm here to show you there's a natural way you could do it and still be successful and be more successful. Anyway, more successful. Because at the end of the day, we need the nutrients, we need the vitamins, we need all these things. This is what keep our body strong. A lot of the food we eat, if they grow natural, they could nourish your body. A lot of the food, sometimes a lot of food we eat able to heal our body, our bone. You understand? A lot of these food we eat, but if the food don't have these things inside of it, then you're just eating. You see, our food should really be our caretaker. Yeah, the food we eat should be our caretaker. So if you take in the time to grow them, try to grow them as natural as you can. You know what I'm saying? Try to grow them as natural as you can. If you are the caretaker of your plant, of your garden, your food supposed to take care of you. Your food should build your immune system. Your food should have you able to run up the food you eat. should be able to have you run up the hill. I mean, we got to think about stuff. Look at the type of stuff happening today. Could you imagine something happening? You got to run on your health, and you only could run 2 minutes, and you got to run for your life. Think about these things, man. Our health is important, and sometimes you got to take your health in your own hand. All right. So I just wish everyone a good night. Thank you guys to stay here with me today. I'm hoping this is a very informative video, very informative video, and I'm hoping to see great success from this year from you guys. Like I say, guys, when you come in this live stream, and we're talking about garden, just remember, there's gonna be a lot of information gonna be passing. Lots of information. All right, and we just want to see everybody successful. We ain't trying for our garden look a certain way and everybody else garden look messed up. We want everybody garden to look healthy, and we want everybody to live a healthy life at the same time. So these information. Hey, Goodich, what's up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you here. Yes, yes. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you. For this garden season, I'm gonna be going live pretty often. I'm gonna take the time out and go live almost every night. 10 o'clock, late night though. 10 o'clock. And we're gonna talk about gardening. We're gonna talk it up, man. So if you interested in growing some food and natural, and you know what? Maybe tomorrow night we're gonna do Q&A, an open panel Q&A. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're gonna do question and answer an open panel. So if you feel like jumping up on the stage and share some information, or if you feel like asking a question, we also can do that. All right. So because I think if you sharing these information, you should be able to open up for question and answer, because I'm sure a lot of people have questions because you hear, but sometimes you mightn't understand something fully and you might want to ask a question. So I'm going to open up for that tomorrow. So you guys could join me tomorrow again. Guys, if you didn't hit that like button, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because lots of information coming. I'm telling you, lots of information coming. And we're doing a lot of them live so you could see directly what we're talking about. Going to set my clock for the late night. Yes, definitely 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Late night garden show. Basically, almost every night. Almost every night. So please tune in, guys. And like I said, hit the notification bell. Hit all the notification bell. Because you know what? A lot of people tell me they don't get no notification when I go live. And I see that for myself. I was right side someone and I go live and they did not get that notification. So for real, it happened. You know, but still hit the notification bell in case. But tune in tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about question and answers open panel. All right. So thank you guys again for coming out tonight. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the question. I enjoy all the input, and I love the question as well. When we having this conversation, nothing wrong if you ask a question. Once is about gardening, once is on the topic, nothing wrong with me answering. All right. Thank you guys as always. I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed and wonderful night. See you guys tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night.